Hello, welcome to the Podcast Engineering Show. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. My name is Chris Curran. I produce podcasts for companies, and I teach at Podcast Engineering School. And on this show, we go deep into the audio production of podcasts. We go really deep into the audio engineering stuff. And we alternate between interview episodes with podcast producers and engineers and episodes like this one, where I'm going to cover about 10 of the daily Goody blog posts that I write 3 or 4 times a week. So little tidbits of knowledge, really good stuff. And you can sign up to receive these daily goodies in your email. You can receive it every day or as a weekly roundup, and it's easy to sign up. Just go to podcastengineeringschool.com. Before we get into the daily goodies, I have 3 unbelievable announcements. And I'm so happy to be able to announce this stuff. First one is that we just started the fall semester of Podcast Engineering School, and it's going really well. We just had our first class the other night. But the next semester is going to start in January of 2021. Doesn't that sound weird? 2021, right? It's going to be January 12th, 2021. That's when the next semester starts. So if you sign up early, or if anyone signs up early, they'll get a really unbelievable discount, right? The earlier you sign up. So the second announcement, yes, I've published a new small course. This is my first small course, right? Because up till now, I've just had the big main course, the Podcast Engineering School, the full course. I've just launched a smaller course. It's called Getting New Clients at Higher Rates. Yeah, and it's a course for independent podcast editors and producers to get new clients at higher rates. And plus, there's an optional new client challenge, which I'm so psyched about. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you about the whole everything. You can actually go to the website and look at it. Just go to podcastengineeringschool.com, and on the sidebar, you'll see the courses, and just click on Getting New Clients at Higher Rates. You'll see and because it's pre-launch right now, you can purchase it now, but the course is going to be available on October 1st. And because it's like pre-launch, I'm offering at like the most ridiculous price. The list price is $1,095. And right now, if you sign up before October 1st, you can get the whole course for $295. So if you're a independent podcast editor and producer, and you want to really earn a lot more money and work less by bringing on clients that are going to pay you a lot more, that's what this whole course is about. And it's what I've done in my business for years, and I'm really happy to be able to teach other people how to do it, because there's so much opportunity in the podcasting world right now. It's unbelievable. I'm also going to put the URL to the course page in the show notes. So actually, just go to the show notes and click on that. You'll see it. The third announcement is that the 200th episode of this show is coming up. And I'm planning a celebration episode, 200th episode celebration. For the 100th episode, what I did was I asked all you guys to send in audio sort of congratulating me, but also roasting me, just to make it funny, roasting me, killing me. I want to do the same thing for 200. I want you to send in audio of yourself congratulating me and or roasting me, right? But here's the twist this time. I want the quality of the audio you send in to be the absolute worst quality audio you've ever recorded. I want it to sound horrendously terrible, like disgusting. Just for fun. This is all just for fun. So the more atrocious, the better. Like, I don't even want to be able to understand what you're saying. That's how bad it should be. Like, really heinous quality audio. So regular listeners, please send me some awful, despicable audio. I'm going to include a link in the show notes. It's a Dropbox link, which goes to this page where you can actually upload the file. So I called this page is labeled episode 200, awful sounding audio roasting Chris. And anyway, it's a Dropbox link, but when you click on it, you'll come to this web page, and there's a little button that says add files, and so you can upload your file right there. You don't have to email it or anything. Just you upload it right on that page. So Anyway, I want to have fun with that. I've wanted to do something like this for a while, but the 200th episode is good. There's going to be a lot of other stuff going on in the 200th episode. It's going to be awesome. Maybe some special guests, but I really want you to send me some disgusting audio. All right, now let's get to the daily goodies, okay? So we're going to cover the daily goodies from that were posted between July 3rd and July 16th. So July 3rd. Listen to your own podcast in all these places because ... So this is all about listening. So if you listen to your own podcast or any podcast that you produce, right, in a bunch of different places, like listen to it on earbuds and listen to the same episode in your car speakers, listen on a boombox or listen on your speakerphone on your phone, listen through your TV speakers. What happens is if you listen to the same audio through 3 or 4 different speakers, you're gonna hear a lot. The audio quality shortcomings will reveal themselves. So on some speakers it'll sound good, on other speakers it won't sound so good, and it's just a great exercise to help train your ears and also to help familiarize yourself with how average podcast listeners are hearing your show or a show that you produce. So, and by the way, the only goal with this is to use your observations to tweak your production so that your episodes sound better everywhere. I mean, that's the whole idea of audio production in general, is that you produce audio so well that it sounds good everywhere. That's the goal. So anyway, that's a good exercise to help you train your ears and produce better audio. Okay, this daily goodie is called I Want This Mic So Bad. It's the AEA KU5A. It's a hypercardioid ribbon microphone. Yeah, this is a ribbon microphone that I heard Bandrew on his Podcastage channel on YouTube. Bandrew reviewed this microphone, and it sounded so good that I just wanted to buy it immediately. But I didn't. I still didn't. But it's a ribbon mic. It is so smooth, and the low end is... I don't even have words to describe the smoothness of the low end and how much low end there was. Anyway, someday I hope to try this mic. But I did, I talked to Bandrew about it and I was like, yeah, I really want to buy that mic. And he's like, you know what, maybe just wait on that a little bit. I don't know, whatever. So someday I hope that I'm able to buy this microphone and try it. It just sounded, I don't know, I've never heard it. It's rare that you hear low end that smooth. All right, next daily goodie, studio monitor placement. Okay, so this is all about where do you set up your studio monitors, your speakers. So the placement of your monitors is really important because it actually affects the sound quite a bit. And there's a nice article from PreSonus that I linked to, which I'm not going to cover the whole thing, but this is a cool article. It talks about setting speakers up on your desk, how close to a wall it should be, how high they should be. Really, it's really cool. So anyway, that link will also be in the show notes. So check that out. Where am I? I'm clicking around my computer here. Oh my God. Next daily goodie is the L-Ray compressor plugin. Okay, so I saw some people review this compressor plugin online like a couple years ago, and it looked really cool. And I wanted to try it, and I went and looked at it, and I actually bought it. It's not cheap either. I forget how much it was. I think it was like $180 or $200, something. But it wasn't cheap, right? That's not cheap. Just to try a compressor. But I don't know. I kind of was sold on it from the videos that people were making and all this. Anyway, I bought it and I used it a little, and it never impressed me very much. And then I just kind of stopped trying to use it. So, I mean, anyway, I think this is the only time I've ever bought a plugin that I didn't really like. And I should have just did the trial, right? I should have just downloaded the trial and play with it for a while, and then I would have decided, yeah, no, I don't want to buy this. So I should have done that. Usually I buy plugins that are so highly recommended that it's a no-brainer, and you can't really make a bad decision. Like if everyone in the whole universe is saying this plugin is awesome, like Soothe 2 is one of those plugins, right? Everybody loves that plugin. And when you buy it, you're going to love it. And that's how it is with great plugins. But I don't know what it was with that El Rey plugin. But anyway, let's move on to the next daily goodie. Forgetting to press record. Yeah. Have you ever started an episode and then you get like a few minutes in or 10 minutes in and you're like, oh my God, I forgot to hit record. Yeah, it happens to all of us. Right? Probably once or twice. I know I've done it twice with podcasts, and one of them was really funny. And I actually linked to that episode in the Daily Goodie post here. It's an episode of an old show I used to do with David Deutsch. The show was called Social Media Unscrambled, and it was funny. Anyway, but yeah, forgetting to press record, it happens to all of us. And now, so what happened? This doesn't happen to me anymore, and you know why? Because I'm actually recording in 3 different places every time I record audio for clients. So I'm not going to forget 3 different places to press record, right? So it just becomes a routine that all 3 places I press record and then we go. So anyway, if you get into a routine, it's less likely to happen. But you know what? It's going to happen. So just make the best of it. Oh, I forgot there was a good comment on that one. I'm going to go back to this page. And yeah, Jody said he was into the conversation with his guest and he never noticed that he hadn't hit record until 1 hour and 24 minutes in. He said he was mortified, and his guest, however, was gracious, and they rescheduled for the following week. And he made himself a checklist that very minute. And record button is at the top of the list. So, oh, that's rough, right? You talk for an hour and 24 minutes and then you look down and it's like, oh no. Right? It's that moment you realize it's like, oh no. Okay, next daily goodie. How to use a multiband compressor to remove plosives. Right? This is really handy actually. If you don't have, Isotope RX, which has a deplosive module, if you don't have that, and if you can't afford Isotope RX, you can just get a multi-band compressor, and you just set up a band from about, from 0 hertz up to about, 110 hertz or 100 or 120. You can adjust it somewhere around there. And then, yeah, you just basically compress that range of frequencies, and you set the threshold a little high so that only the big plosives are going to be compressed, and you use a high ratio so that when the compressor compresses it, it really smashes it, pushes it down. So yeah, it's kind of fun to do, and it's not hard to do. So yeah, and of course the multiband compressor I normally use in general is the FabFilter Pro MB, and I don't use it for as a deplosive because I have RX, but I've done it before, and it works pretty well. Next daily goodie, crossfading when editing audio. All right, crossfading is such a simple thing when in audio editors, and it's basically where you can sort of overlap clips, and one of them fades out while the other one fades in, and it makes a nice smooth transition. A lot of times, in fact, there's an article on Sweetwater that I linked to. So if you want to read the whole article, go to this daily goodie. And again, you know what? In the show notes these days, I'm actually directly linking to every single daily goodie that I talk about. So just go to the show notes and click on crossfading when editing audio. And then you'll see a link to, there's an article from Sweetwater, but I'll read a little bit from the article. Amateur recordings are chock full of abrupt volume changes, audible clicks, and unnatural transitions. These unwanted effects are caused by discontinuous waveforms, a common consequence of splicing audio clips together. So how to prevent these? You could make all your cuts at 0 crossing points during moments of silence, but that's not always practical or possible, and it's definitely time consuming. So how do you make smooth edits? That's where crossfading comes in. Crossfading creates a seamless transition from one audio clip to another using a quick, overlapping fade out and fade in. And it's easy. Start by overlapping the end of the earlier clip with the beginning of the later clip, and your DAW will. Anyway, I'm end quote. I'm not reading from the article anymore. But yeah, like if you just slide two clips over one clip over another, most DAWs will automatically create the crossfade. So, all right, well that's crossfading. Next daily goodie is podcast producers being credited at the end of their clients' episodes. Yeah, so sometimes you hear podcasts and at the end they'll say, this episode was mixed by such and such, and production assistant is what's a who's it's and all that stuff. I don't know. So my question was, have you ever heard podcast producers or even their companies credited at the end of episodes? So I worked with a client who had a lot of listeners and huge download numbers, and she credited my production company, Fractal Recording, at the end of every episode. She did it twice a week for 3+ years, and I didn't receive a single inquiry about my services from those shout-outs. Now, but that's just my experience. I mean, it's not a surprise. I'm just telling you in my case, that's what happened, and it's fine. I wasn't expecting it anyway, but anyway, like I said, I'm just relaying this information to you. Yeah, Mike Thomas commented, he said, I think having an ad at the end of a podcast for the engineer is not appropriate. Having a sting for the production company, if they were responsible for creating and producing the episode or sponsor, this podcast was brought to you by Acme Incorporated, something like that, is fine. Putting production credits at the bottom of the show notes would be very acceptable. Yeah, so I agree with all that. Just an interesting topic. All right, next daily goodie, Podcast Gym. Have you heard of Podcast Gym? It's a website run by Andy Wong, our good friend Andy Wong, who was on this show before, and lots of other shows. And he's also the host of Inspired Money. So, Inspired Money. He does a really good show. Anyway, Podcast Gym is his website, and Podcast Gym, 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 like lifting weights in a gym. And it's pretty cool. He does a bunch of articles about podcasting, all different types of, all different aspects of podcasting. And he actually just recently posted an article. Like, again, I'm recording this on September 16th, and I wrote this daily goodie on July 15th. So that's 2 months ago. But anyway, like a couple days ago, September 15th or 14th or something, he posted an article on his website, Podcast Gym, and he actually went through every episode of this podcast. Oh, I just hit my mic. Every episode of the Podcast Engineering Show, he went through and wrote down what mic my guest was using. And then he created a big chart, and you can see what the most common microphone was and how many people were using it, and what the second most common one was and how many people were using that. Pretty cool graphic. So definitely go to Podcast Gym. What's the website? I think it's podcastgym.com. Yeah, podcastgym.com. Anyway, it'll be linked in the show notes. Thanks, Andy, for doing that article. That was awesome, man. Next daily goodie. Listen very careful to two of your favorite songs and... That's the title? I forget what this one's about. Listen very carefully to two of your favorite songs and note down all the details you hear. This is even more ear training if you want to train your ears. This is a wonderful exercise in critical listening, which will help quite a bit with regards to training your ears. So when you listen to music, and it's good to listen to, some of your favorite songs because you love them anyway, but so listen to some of your favorite songs, put on headphones, and really listen. What voices do you hear? Where is the guitar panned? And how many guitars are there? And everything. Is there a piano or a synth? How loud is the kick drum and the snare drum and the hi-hat? And listen to everything. That's one thing, engineers who mix music they really put a lot of work into these mixes. And there's usually a lot of things going on that most people do not hear because most people just kind of hum along and they don't listen very critically or deeply. So if you listen critically and deeply, it's really awesome. You can hear so much, and then you can appreciate your favorite songs even more. So, well, that is the last daily goodie we're going to cover today. Again, you can get these daily goodies in your email every day or a weekly roundup. So go to the website and you can sign up for that, podcastengineeringschool.com. I'm so psyched to start the next semester in January 2021. And also the new course, Getting New Clients at Higher Rates. Oh, I'm so psyched for this course. By the way, you want to hear some of the topics we're going to cover? All right, here it's going to be 9 topics that we're going to cover in this course. The first one is profitability and branding and your offering. Those are all tied together. The second one is prospecting. Prospecting. The third one is selling. I mean, you got to sell something. You're going to get a new client. You got to sell yourself, sell your services. And then the fourth one is mindset, self-image, head trash, and confidence. Yeah, the psychological aspect. And then there's a bunch of other topics, focusing on a niche, marketing, time management and production workflow, onboarding new clients, and renegotiating with and or releasing existing clients. Because one thing happens when you're going to raise your prices and start dealing with higher end clients, you're going to have some lower end clients that you have that you're going to grow out of, and you got to have a talk with them, either renegotiate or let them go. There's also a new client challenge. I'm so psyched about this. This is like 5 days in a row, one full week of like massive action of outreach. And there's some preparation you need to do before we do that, but we're all going to do it on the same week. And we're all going to be there's a private Slack group that we're going to have with all the students of this course. So we're going to, every month we're going to pick a week and focus those 5 days on like massive outreach and getting new clients. And it's going to be great. And there's other materials that I provide, including a prospecting spreadsheet, something I'm calling a 1-page plan, which is, getting all your stuff together and all your ducks in a row to be able to grow your business massively. There's an information gathering worksheet to use with your potential clients. There's a big list of the benefits of podcasting, which you can share with potential clients, because that's what potential clients are going to ask you. Like, well, what's so good about podcasting? And if you hand them a list of like 27 things, they're going to go, potential segments and topics to discuss on your podcast. That's to share with potential clients as well, because potential clients are like, well, I want to do a podcast, but I don't know what to do or what to say. And when you hand them a list of like 14 different segments or 14 different things and segments that they can do in a show, they're like, oh, wow, yeah, oh, that's good. I like that, whatever. Anyway, the whole course is launching October 1st, but you can buy it now at an amazing price. The list price is $1,095, and this pre-launch price, which will never be seen again, is $295, which I wrestled with that. I'm like, really? Am I going to basically give it away for that much? But yes, I am. From now until October 1st, I am. So anyway, I'm psyched about that. And the other announcement is, of course, for the 200th episode of the show, please send me audio. There's a link in the show notes to upload an audio file. Record the worst quality audio you can. Just disgusting audio. And please upload it and send it to me. I would love that. I really would. Who would appreciate that more than me? All right. Anyway, thank you for listening. As always, if you need help with your production or you have questions, ask me. Just go to the website and there's a contact us page and contact me and ask me a question. Happy to help. All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an awesome interview. Until then, keep it real. Oh, that was lame. All right. Bye.